Légèreté.
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 Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about the new limited edition quad from Chanel, eyeshadow quad from Chanel. It is called, I think it's Légèreté et Expérience. This is what it looks like in any case. I will have the correct spelling down in the description box since I just slaughtered the pronunciation of it. If you're interested in seeing me do a demo with this look and kind of give you my first impressions of this quad, then just keep on watching. I purchased this quad off of the Chanel site. It's $61. It is limited edition and it came beautifully packaged in the Chanel, their typical box, but it has this like holiday ribbon around the entire box, which was really nice. I was so excited for this quad because I love the new Chanel matte formula. It's a formula that I think has been around for a couple of years now. I think it was introduced in fall 2016. I could be completely mistaken, but this matte formula is so creamy. They actually remind me of like the Natasha Denona matte shadows. You dip your finger into the pan and it just really feels like a silky cream powder. Absolutely beautiful. So let me go ahead and show you this quad up close. So we have 4 shades in here, all definitely leaning towards the warm side. So here's some swatches of these shadows. They are matte shadows, but I think because the formula is so creamy, they actually come across almost like a demi-matte, like a creamy satin looking kind of shadow, but they are a matte formula. There are no shimmers actually in the powder. So I believe this is not only limited edition, but I think it's also an exclusive to the Chanel.com site. I feel like I always see, you know, exclusive on the site, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's always going to be exclusive to the site. So I think for now it definitely is, and I don't know what the future holds for this particular quad. But I had seen this quad released in Asia. You know, I saw pictures of it on Instagram, and I was so anxious and hoping that they would release this in the Americas here, and they did. So once they announced it and that they were going to be selling it starting Black Friday, but I think they started actually a day before on Thanksgiving, maybe even Wednesday, I went ahead and just ordered it. So I'm just going to jump right into the demo and kind of give you my thoughts on it as I'm working with the shadows, since this is a first impressions of this particular palette, but I do know I love this formula. So I'll just sort of share my thoughts as we go along. So I'm going to start with the Chantecaille Eye Definer brush. I'm going to go into the lightest shade here, and I'm going to place that all over the lid. I should mention that I have like concealer, foundation, I have bronzer and highlighter down, but I actually didn't powder my face. I don't know, this winter has been pretty harsh on my skin and I just have been feeling really dry, and so anyway, I didn't put any powder down, so I'm gonna put this all over my lid to kind of prime it. I'm hoping it's light enough. I think you can see a little bit of pigmentation, but I think it is light enough for me to use all over the lid. So far, I feel like the shadow has applied nicely, but it's way too hard to tell when the shadow color is so close to your skin color. So I'm actually gonna go right into the red shade here and start to deepen my outer corner and my socket area. I'm just gonna use the same eye definer brush here. And I'm gonna pat that on the outer corner here and just start to work that into my socket line. Ooh, that is pretty, and that's blending really nicely, very smoothly. I'm gonna continue to build up that color a bit. I'm just brushing that over like the center part of my lid to kind of blend that in. I really love these shadows. I'm not surprised. I do love this formula. My only tip to someone who maybe hasn't used this formula before or isn't used to like a really creamy matte, they're used to more like a powdery shadow, is to really go and build slowly with really light layers. It just makes the blending a lot easier. All right, now that I have the red down, I'm gonna take my Chanel flat eyeshadow brush and I'm gonna go into this brighter peach color here, and I'm gonna sweep that from the inner corner out towards the center of my lid. Now that I have that peach down, I don't feel like I have enough of the red down, so I'm just gonna go back in quickly with this eye definer brush again and just deepen up that red color. All right, now I'm gonna take my Sonia G Smudger 1 brush and I'm gonna go into this deep brown color here. It's actually kind of, it's not that deep. It's actually more of like a chocolatey, milk chocolatey color. I'm gonna go ahead and smudge this into my lash line here and see if it's deep enough for that. This brown has such an interesting like red undertone. It works so well with these other shadows in here. I don't even think you can see it that much in the pan, but once you start kind of blending it out, you really see like a redness kind of coming through. So those are the shadows applied. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of quickly finish up the rest of my makeup, and I'll be right back to kind of give you my thoughts and talk about the quad a little bit more. So I was just about done with my makeup and I realized I felt like I need a little bit more cheek color. So I just went ahead and dabbed my finger into both of these colors here. I thought this was too dark, this was obviously too light, and I put that right here on my cheeks. So I just wanted to go ahead and do that on this side for you guys so you can see. So I'm just kind of going back and forth, making sure I have a little bit of both on my fingertip here, and then I'm just gonna dab it onto my cheekbone and blend out. Eyeshadow obviously is much more pigmented, well, generally much more pigmented than blush. So there, that is my look using this new quad from Chanel. So before I get into my thoughts on this, I thought I would just show you the box that it came in because it's a little bit different from the regular box. So it looks like all the shades in the quad kind of ombre'd in this stripe across the box, really pretty. And then the compact has like this limited edition logo. I don't even know if you can see it, but it's like a deep red in the black. So I almost forgot, I wanted to do some comparison swatches between this palette and two others that I have in my collection. This is that Fall 2016 Candeur et Expérience palette that came out, and it is deeper. The entire story of the palette is a little bit deeper, but I'm going to go ahead and swatch these two colors in the Fall 2016 palette next to these two colors, the bottom ones, in this current palette. So I will swatch the Fall 2016 swatches on the left-hand side, and then I will swatch the current palette on the right-hand side of my arm. Definite similarities there, but I do think that the current quad is brighter. It has a much brighter base than the Fall. And I also wanted to compare it to the Claire Obscure palette, which came out with the Matte de Chanel collection this past fall. I'm just gonna hold them up one next to the other. You can see the Claire Obscure is much more neutral leaning, almost cool leaning, especially compared to this palette, which is much warmer in tone. And then as for the formula, I do find it very consistent to all the other mattes that have come out since that Fall 2016 collection. Like in their Fall matte collection, those two quads, same formula as that. I feel like they feel the same, they perform the same, they blend really well. I think I mentioned this while I was doing my shadows. My one piece of advice for someone who maybe hasn't used really creamy matte shadows or this particular Chanel formula is to just go slowly. I feel like if you put too much down at once, it may be hard to kind of move the shadow out, but they do blend beautifully so long as you kind of work slowly and you build up like light layers. I think that they work beautifully, and I love how they blend together. I love this like look that I got. Well, that is it for this video. I should probably end it right there because the weirdo like sun shadows are starting to come through. It's a little bit late in the day, and now that it is inching towards winter, like the sun has completely shifted and I have to sit in this like weird position so I don't get these weird sunspots on me. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Let me know if you have any questions down below. Again, this quad is limited edition, so at the moment it's still in stock, the last time I checked, on Chanel.com, and I don't know if it's going to be appearing in other stores, but I will link to it down below in my description box. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video.